Life really is an ocean, and learning how to swim is a good investment. The metaphor of life, swimming, or a video game is very powerful. In both cases, you got to learn how to do something in order to go around or use obstacles. If you're trying to go from somewhere to somewhere else and there's 10 feet of road between you, you have to go through that road. You have to walk that path. And swimming looks a lot like just kicking and punching at the water, but the difference is immense. If you're swimming, you're actually going somewhere. If you're swimming, you know what you're doing. You're efficiently using your energy and you're actually using the circumstances around you to propel yourself and to go somewhere. On the other hand, kicking and punching against circumstances, screaming and just splashing around in the water is a very different experience. You don't go anywhere, you expend a lot of energy, and your own personal experience is negative, as is the experience of the people watching you. Watching a successful and graceful swimmer, someone who's trained, someone who's taken an intentional approach to propelling themselves through the water as best as they can, has a very different effect on us, the observers, than a person who's drowning and whose life is in danger. If you look around at life, you also see there's people around you who seem to know what they're doing, and there's people around you who really don't. And there's both of those inside of ourselves. There are times and circumstances where we feel totally at home, perfect. It may not be a good situation, but we know what to do in that situation. And that is actually a great feeling to know how to transform the current circumstances that are negative into circumstances that are positive is a tremendous part of any kind of training. If you are an artist and you have a blank canvas, that's a problem. So taking and you have a bucket of paint and a blank canvas, that's a problem. But you turn that problem into a solution, into something beautiful. If you're a doctor, you have a sickness, but you turn that sickness into a healthy patient, and that's beautiful. If you're a skier, you're on top of a mountain, you have to get down the mountain. That's a problem. But if you know what you're doing, then you can turn that problem into something that's admirable, something that inspires and encourages and energizes not just yourself, but other people. The key is you have to be willing to do the difficult parts of being clumsy and looking bad and failing and taking risk. I mean, there's risk of personal injury, there's risk of hurting someone else. These are all risks that we take when we try to do something important, when we try to do something ambitious. Now, video games are actually quite similar. You have the situation where there's like an algorithm that you are inside of, and you want to learn how it works. I go here, I go there, there's something good for me, there's something bad for me. How do I move on to the next level? How do I unlock the current situation and open up the next situation? In this current situation, there is some set of keys or some set of accomplishments that if I achieve, this level goes away. This level goes away and gives rise to the next level. And life is just like that. So the question ends up being, what are the keys that I need to go gather, and what does the next level look like? How do I know I'm on the right path to the next thing in my life? So this is a beautiful journey, and everyone is in the same journey, no matter what your financial situation is. You have a next financial situation to get to, and of course, with your descendants, with the kids, you want them to go to we don't want history to go backwards. We don't want to regress in our own lives or intergenerationally. And so what we want to do is within our own lives, as well as between the generations of people, move from a hell to a heaven, a time where we're insecure and needy and dependent and clumsy and don't know what we're doing, to a time where we know what we're doing. We understand things. We have knowledge and wisdom, and it protects us. It protects us against the chaos of the natural world because we understand patterns. We understand ourselves. We understand each other. This is what leads to peace. This is what leads to productivity. This is what leads to interpersonal collaboration so that we can actually grow stronger through our human connections rather than grow weaker through our human connections. So that's what this channel is about. It's about learning to swim through life, because it's not easy. Swimming through life, it takes effort while you're doing it. Swimming through life takes effort while you're doing it. And it also takes a kind of meta effort to learn how to do it. Because at first, just like we learn to walk, at first in life, we're very clumsy. And we hurt ourselves, we hurt people around us. That's just the process of growing up and learning what it is to be a human in society. But over time, we learn that if we're careful and communicative, and we want to not hurt other people, we want to heal other people, we can actually learn to do that too. We want to heal ourselves, we can learn to do that too. And so it's really about intention. What do you want to do? What do you want to get better at right now? Where do you find yourself hurting other people or getting hurt by your own actions right now? And other people are a great source of information. You might have a hard time knowing what you need to get better at, but other people may have a helpful perspective. And so learning to not shoot the messenger and learning to welcome feedback from other people includes both becoming more coachable ourselves and also teaching other people how to be better coaches. So that's really what it's about, so that when we give advice, we're not offensive and arrogant and condescending and abusive and accusational. By doing that and showing other people that you can correct without attack, then the people around us start to learn to correct without attack. And so we become the beneficiaries of other people's improved communication styles and improved mindsets, because that's where it comes from. If your mindset is that the people around you are a threat to you, then it's going to be natural for you to accuse and belittle and condescend to them. But if you are of the mindset that the people around you, you want their success, then what you end up with is the motivation to give your advice in the best way possible, to become a better coach, to adapt your ways of giving advice in the optimal way, and have that be an ongoing process. Not try to give advice one time and then have it fail and then say, oh, forget it, I'm not going to try to help people anymore. Or on the other hand, to get advice in a bad way from someone else and say, oh, forget it, I'm just going to do my own thing. That's sort of childish and impatient of us. All of us do it, but this is an invitation back into the human family, where you can really learn to be a positive influence consistently that helps people grow and thrive, as well as learn to be around and create and then receive positive influences from others. One way to think of it is the Mutual Admiration Society. That's a beautiful phrase, I think, that we can start to chew on, because to admire someone isn't just to kiss their ass. It's to recognize their strengths. It's to also see how much difficulty they've gone through and how they made it out and what they've figured out and the lessons they have to bring. I'm surrounded by people I admire, and I'm grateful to be admired by others whenever that's true, because that's a validation of my value to other people. So that's it for now. Look forward for more conversations in the future.